to slope and rate of change. Who remembers how you find a slope? What is slope? Changing y over changing x, okay? So my slope is represented by the letter M like this. When you see that, we're looking for the slope. The slope equals the change in y over the change in x. Okay. So those are the things we're looking for when we're doing slope, which means that I have rise over run is another way to say it. And the algebraic way of writing it is y1 or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All of that is ways that I can talk about slope, or that slope can be presented to me. Okay? So with slope, we're then given problems that talk about rise and run. Okay? If you have a ramp, okay, and let's say this is 24 inches and this is 6 inches, and they want to know what is the slope of this ramp. How would I figure out what the slope is? How can you figure that out if that's the only information you have? It's rise over run, yeah, so what's the rise? 6. What's your run? So what does that reduce to? Can it reduce? 1 over what? 1 over 4. So it reduces to 1 over 4. That is my slope, okay? So when I'm finding slope, I always need to reduce it to the lowest fraction or to the number divided out, whatever it is, okay? That's one way I can find slope. Another way I can find slope is they can say, here are 2 points. What is the slope of the given coordinates? Okay, or of the given line that passes through the coordinates. So what if they give us points of -2, 7, and 3, -9? How do I figure out the slope of that? What do you need to set up? What do you need to do? I would set up that. How do I set up that?
Take -9
Okay, take -9 and subtract 7 from it. Put it over top of 3 minus -2. Okay, make sure you get your signs right. What is -9 minus -7? -16. Okay, and what is this isn't whatever. 3 plus 2 is 5. Is that reducible?
No.
No. So my slope is -16/5. It is okay to leave your slope in fraction form. In fact, I kind of advise it because it will help you when you go to graph. Okay? If you change it to a decimal, it's going to be harder for you to figure that out when you're graphing. If I know that I'm going down 16 and over 5, that's easier for me to count than whatever that comes out to, 3 and something. Okay? So it's easier to do it that way. Sorry, I know I So you're going to have to be able to identify slopes for me. Okay, so let's do another one. What happens if I have -3, -2? -3, -2, and the point 6, 1. How do I set that up, Jason? Finding the slope.
6 minus
Okay, 6 minus -2. Nope, that's
Oh, my
wrong.
bad. 1
1 minus -2. Good. Over what?
6 minus
Okay, what do I have here? What is 1 minus -2? Ding, ding. 3. And 6 minus -3, ding, ding. What is that? 9. What is 3/9? 1/3. My slope is 1/3. Okay. Let's see if you can tell me something about these graphs that I'm going to put on the board. Let's say I have a graph that looks like this. I have one that looks like this. One like this. And one like this. What can you tell me about each of these pictures? Start with this one. What do you know about that? Okay, it passes through one point. Focus on the line. What's happening with the line? It has what, Drew? Why do you know it's a negative slope?
Down from left to right.
Okay, so it has a negative slope because it falls from left to right. Okay, that's the key, falling from left to right. Just like when we read, we're going to read our graphs from left to right. Okay, so if that has a negative slope and it falls from left to right, what is this one then? Positive. Why? Okay, because it rises. And they're going to use that terminology on your homework a lot. Falls and rises. You've got to get used to that. Okay? What type of graph is this? When I have a straight line up and down. It's a vertical line, yes. It's a vertical, but the slope's not vertical. The slope is something different. Can you, I think Mrs. McCain always does something like, somebody can walk up this, right? You can walk up this. You can walk across. Can you walk up and down? No, so what does that make that? It starts with a U.
I know it is undefined.
Undefined. Makes it undefined. But do you remember when she teaches you guys that with the whole walking thing? So if I can't walk up it, it's undefined. Which means what about the slope? What's in the numerator, the denominator part of the slope then? 0. So the denominator will have a 0. You can't have a 0 in the denominator. That's what makes it undefined or makes it vertical. What type of slope is this? Think about slopes. What would be in the numerator spot if you're going straight across? It has something opposite of what this is. 0. So it's a 0 slope. Okay? So my slope actually equals 0. So this is considered a 0 slope. And this is a horizontal line. You're going to have to be able to look at pictures. You're going to have to be able to graph things that fall into these realms. You need to have those 4 things memorized. I think you can handle memorizing those 4 things. Okay? It might even show up on your test with a picture. We're going to do one more thing and then we're going to do the rest of this lesson tomorrow. Let's talk about classifying lines using slope. Classifying the lines using slope. We're going to classify them into one of 4 categories: rising, falling, horizontal, or vertical. Okay? So does it rise, fall, is it horizontal, or is it So we're gonna start with A. And I'm gonna do 4 of them so that you can see one of each, but we'll see here. -5, 1 and 3, 1 is the first one. So what do I have to do first? 1 minus 1 over what? So up top I get, on the bottom I get. So what type of slope is that? And if it's a 0 slope, what does that mean? Which of these 4 options would it be? Horizontal. So on your homework, when it asks you to define what slope it is, I want you to tell me, or when it asks you if it rises, falls, is horizontal or vertical, I want you to also tell me what slope it is. If it's 0, negative, positive, or undefined. Okay? Even though that's not in the directions, I want those things to stick in your head. So we're gonna practice them that way. Let's do this one. 4, 6, and 4, -1. What do I do? -1 minus 6 over. Okay, so what do you get up top? And on the bottom you get? So what type of slope is that? Undefined, which makes it vertical. -1, 3, and we're going to do 5, 8. Okay, 5, 8. Okay, how do I set that one up?
8 minus 3.
8 minus 3, 5 minus -1. 8 minus 3 is 5, and ding ding, 5. So what's going on there? Positive slope. So then what type of graph is it? Rise, yes. And then the last one is -6, 0. And 2, -4. What do I do there? Okay, over.
2 minus -6.
So up top I get -4, on bottom I get 8, which reduces to -1/2, and that is what type of slope? It falls, so it's negative. Okay, negative and falls. We've got to be used to slopes so that we can graph things correctly. So tonight on your homework, we're going to just focus on slopes. Okay, tomorrow night, we are going to look at parallel and perpendicular lines because that depends on slopes and what's going on with the slopes. So we're going to take a look at that tomorrow. So we're breaking this into 2 days. Okay?